What's up guys, it is Luke here, and as I normally try and do, I got a little bit of a funny thing for you guys before we jump into today's match, while I was trying to get some content. So, I lead on my Rotom right here. He's going to lead with his Genesect. Now obviously you guys know me, I'm just going to go for the Pain Split here, as he ends up U-turning out like I predicted. He ends up going out into Celebi, which is fine. I catch that thing with a Pain Split, get some HP back, which is nice. Now I'm going to make a switch to Scizor, because he does have a Politoed on his team, so it is a rain team, and I know for this reason he's not carrying HP Fire. So I'm going to predict his switch again and go for a U-turn here to get the initiative. Go out to my Terrakion. Now this was so obvious it hurt. I saw the Tornadus switching coming, just went for the Stone Edge, ended up catching that thing on the way in and just destroying its life. So this guy's going to run after sending out Celebi. So anyway, funny stuff aside, let's go ahead and jump straight into today's match. It's a pretty decent one, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright guys, here is today's upload. It's a battle against a guy by the name of Lillealex. Yeah, anyway, it's a pretty good battle. It's probably the best one that I've had today. I've been facing some opponents that are kind of not brilliant, but you know, this was a fairly decent match, so I guess I'll jump into that and show you guys what that looks like today. So as always, well, not as always, but this guy's going to lead with Fortress. I'm going to lead with my Rotom. Main reason being because I can hit it straight off the bat with the HP Fire. I don't know why people don't expect that. It's just something you don't see very often, I guess. It's kind of an anti-meta Rotom set, or it was back in the day anyway. It's kind of more used now. But I'm just going to switch out here with the Volt Switch. And now I have to select carefully what I want to go into, because I'm trying to bait Gyarados to come out on his team. So I end up going out into my Scizor in the end, because honestly, I was trying to stay clear of him bringing in Raikou, I think it was. So anyway, that's what I ended up doing. Whoops, my bad. So I end up going out into my Scizor here, like I said. He's going to end up going out into his Dusknoir though, which is fine. I really wanted to U-turn on this thing, but obviously Dusknoir is a big user of Will-O-Wisp, so I need to switch straight out. I decide that it doesn't really matter too much if Rotom ends up getting burned, because I do have the Pain Split, so I do have a way to get back some of that HP, so it's not a problem. So I got into that. He's going to make a switch now into his Politoed, I guess expecting the Hydro Pump, but he really just went out, bought the rain out, and rain boosted my Hydro Pump for me. On top of that, I end up getting a crit, which is pretty useful. I want to go ahead and say, because he had Protect in the long run, that probably mattered, although I'm fairly decent winning Weather Wars anyway, so I could have just bought in T-Tar for the Sand later on in the game, so I didn't really see it too much of a big issue. But anyway, he's going to switch out to his Quagsire, and I'm thinking I'm going to go for the Volt Switch. But no, I know the switch here is kind of obvious, so I end up going for the Hydro Pump, because I can probably knock out the Politoed from there anyway, or deal some major damage, or, you know, I can hit whatever he wants to bring in, which happens to be the Quagsire. So now he brings in his Raikou. At this point, again, I wanted to kind of scout and see what kind of set he was, and as soon as I saw that kill me, I thought, okay, he's probably Specs, but then I did see the Life Orb, so it was kind of shocking, really. I didn't expect it to take me out, because I'm fairly invested in Spec D, so anyway, just a nice surprise. Well, for him. So anyway, I got into my T-Tar now. Now I pull a quick double switch here into my Scizor, because looking at his team, Scizor's not really going to be too useful for me. So I decide to use it in the most productive way possible, and that's to scout for the Aura Sphere, because these things obviously have to be Rash Nature and Shiny if they're going to have Aura Sphere. So judging by, you know, what it looks like, I'm going to assume he has it, so I scout for it, and turns out he does carry it on this set. So I decide to leave Scizor in here now, just to get some prior damage off with Bullet Punch, also to rack up some sand damage and Life Orb damage and all that kind of stuff. So he's going to go out to Gyarados now. Now at this point I had a few options to go into, but I decided to go straight out to Terrakion, and if I miss the Stone Edge, it was going to put me in a bit of a predicament, but as you guys are going to see, I don't miss the Stone Edge, which is really nice, so I end up taking that thing out straight off the bat. I don't have to worry about getting Gyara swept, because that would just be embarrassing. But anyway, he brings his Politoed now. I probably could. I think I stand a chance at KO in this thing with Stone Edge, but I'm definitely not willing to risk it. So I'm just going to switch out to my T-Tar here, just because I need to get the sand up, because obviously bringing in Politoed, he got the rain up. I know I can take Surfs for days, because I'm a specially defensive nature, and obviously the Sandstorm is going to give me that special defense raise. So I'm just going to stay in here. He's going to go for the Toxic. It's a good opportunity for me to get up my rocks, just to get some more damage off on that Raikou, which you guys are going to see, it kind of may have mattered. If he'd have taken out my Terrakion earlier, it really would have mattered, but because he didn't, you know, it's not really going to end up mattering too much. But anyway, I'm going to switch out now, because he's obviously going to go for, is it there? Yeah, sorry, no, I predicted him to switch, but in the end he ended up going for the Substitute, which is not what I expected at all, and I end up bringing in Keldeo here, but I really don't know what he was going for, but the reason why I bring in Keldeo is because he does have the Raikou, so Keldeo, as much as I hate to say it, is not really going to be uberly useful. So I decided to bring that in and see if I can maybe bait the Raikou. So I just go for the Surf. He actually ends up hitting me with the Toxic, which is absolutely fine. It doesn't really bother me too much, just because, you know, Keldeo, with the sand up and being poisoned and stuff like that, I'm going to be basically losing quite a lot of HP over the next few turns. So I decided to switch out here into my Gliscor on the obvious Protect, because if I Surf him, he's going to die. He can't sub, and obviously I outspeed, so he has to go for the Protect to get some toxic damage off on me. So I decided to switch. Now this surprised me, because I run a lot of speed in my Gliscor. I thought I would outspeed this Politoed, but I guess not, and what's worse is he ends up getting the crit. And that may have ever so slightly mattered. I know it's a rain boosted Surf and Politoed, so it probably didn't, but because I do run Spec D investment on my Gliscor just a little bit, it might have mattered, I don't know. Either way, it doesn't really affect the match too much, so I'm going to go out into my Terrakion now knowing there's really nothing he can do, so I just go for the Earthquake because it does hit everything else on his team, that'd be the Dusknoir and the Raikou. I believe now he's going to bring in his Dusknoir again. I can't afford to let this thing Will-O-Wisp me, so I'm going to switch out again and go out into my T-Tar, I believe, at this point. I'm not sure, he took a while to decide what he was going to do here for whatever reason. Even though, you know, it's quite simple, just Will-O-Wisp me. But going for the Will-O-Wisp was really bad play on his part because I only have the Keldeo and the Rotom, I believe, and both of which are poisoned. So, you know, it's kind of an obvious thing, but he ends up going for it anyways. I end up switching him to my Keldeo. Like I said, I'm already poisoned, but the Sandstorm and the poison damage are really going to be racking up, so Keldeo's not really going to survive here for too long, especially after I get hit for a hit by a Nightshade. So I hit him with a Surf, it does 62%. I could have locked myself into Hydro Pump, which could have potentially KO'd him, but at the same time I didn't want to miss, so then I'd have Joey going, well, you should have used Bubble, and that would just suck. So now I know I can just end up switching out, since that thing's dead, sorry, I can end up bringing in my Rotom, sorry, why does it say Rotom? I can bring in my Tyranitar here and just go for the Crunch. I know he can't really do anything to me, seeing as I'm already poisoned, he can't burn me, but he just ends up going for the Shadow Sneak. It's not really a big deal. He's going to end up bringing in Raikou now, which is his last. He's going to end up killing me off here, I believe, to the Aura Sphere, which isn't a big deal. T-Tar was really just fodder anyway, so that I could get a free switch out into my Terrakion to finish up the match, but as you guys are going to see, the Sandstorm ends up taking him out anyway. So it was a pretty decent match. I believe it was a 1-0 on my part, so good game, dude. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you can click the annotations above to check out the previous battle that I uploaded. You guys can hit the middle button now to subscribe and join the Keldeo army if you haven't already done so. And you guys can stay tuned and look forward to tomorrow's battle. My R4 card is not here yet, however I did order it a while ago, so I'm assuming it's going to be here tomorrow. If not, it should definitely be here Monday. So thanks for watching, guys, take care.